Nnamdi Kanu odogwu chite ike osisi Chukwu nyelu ndị Igbo asị m gị gaba n'iru n'onwere ife ba ga-eme ọchọ nke a na-enwe ilu ma chacha ọchọ nke a na-enwe ilu okwu nna m gwara omugbuo ọ sị na ọchọ nke a na-enwe ilu ịma na nwata chọba nke ya akpọbụ ya ajọ mmadụ mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ Chukwu okike kwe na-asụ Chukwu okike so ga-eje na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme ebe ba na-egbutere gị na Operation Vital Dancing na onwere ife ọzọ ba ga-eme maka na ọchọ nke a na-enwe ilu ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ ọnụ ka anyị ọ sị na ya marọ emesi aka na ị ga-amarịli emesi aka na ị ga-aghọta ndị ọcha achasị bute ọcha ha achasị bute nke ji ụlọ na Igbo erike ndị jili maka ibi ego welekwusi ụmụnne ba unu goduma na agwa ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ ọnụ ka anyị ka ịchọ n'oke anyị ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oke anyị ka ịchọba n'oke anyị ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọba n'oke anyị onye jizi na nwanne ya je politiks ka ịchọ n'oke anyị onye jizi na nwanne ya jalụ mgbele ka ịchọ n'oke anyị na-arụgo ka ịchọ n'oke anyị ka ịchọ n'oke anyị nke m bụ nke m nke anyị bụ nke anyị
Hello, fellow Biafrans. Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to this wonderful evening program and wonderful edition. My name is Mazi Kim Patrick and DK, and I'm your host this evening. And we'll be bringing to you the latest news, the reality on the ground in Olo. We'll be talking about leadership question in Igbo land and the entire eastern region. And I'll also be opening the line. I'll be sending the link for anybody who wants to join to be part of this program. The link will be available, the line will be available, because today we promise it's going to be an interactive forum for Biafrans and likes all over the world. So we are bringing you the reality on the ground in Olo, and we hope that you are going to join us and also make your contributions. And with me, as usual, is Mazi Solomon Peter. Mazi Solomon Peter, good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mazi Pat. Good morning from my end. And good night at your own end at this moment. Oh, here, Biafra. I bring greeting to all Biafran all over the world and our listeners, the lovers of freedoms, the lovers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the haters of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We bring greeting to you today. My name is Solomon Peter. I hope you join us in this very program. It is an interactive section. So you'll be allowed to call in or to join the programs to earn your view as to regard to what we will be discussing today. Already Mazi Pat has already briefed us that we will be giving update as to regard to what is happening in Olo, and also to debunk some propagandas and the false news. So we are consistent and we know what we are doing and know what we have come to do. So we are not confused. We are not working with propaganda. We are doing everything possible to be truthful and to be real to our people. We in IPOP will not mislead our people. We will always walk in line with our people. We will always convey the truth and the genuine news to them. That is the reason why we are here. So follow us, please, and get ready. Get your phone close to yourself. Get your coffee, because I know to some people it is night. And also, you can get your glass of water close to yourself. Get your pen and paper. Also, make sure you jot something, some points, so that whenever you call here, you go straight to the point. You don't call and start thinking of what to contribute on, but you can jot down some certain things so that you can be able to look on your book, go straight. If you have 1 minute, straight to the point, you deliver your message, and the Biafran all over the world, lovers of freedoms, lovers of Mazin Nandekano, haters of Mazin Nandekano, will get your message straight away. So thank you, our people, again, for being part of these very programs and for being here together with us this night, this morning, this afternoon, and this evening. Depends on your time zone. Thank you, Mazi Pat.
Thank you very much, Mazi Solomon Peter. It's my pleasure to welcome you. Thank you for laying down the background. Just like Mazi Solomon said, we have circulation of fake news that we are not going to accept. And anything that comes to you on this platform is authentic and real, because we are in touch with people on the ground. So anything we tell you is gospel here. As regard to the situation alone, we are going to take it gradually, and we are here to correct some of the narratives of the flying news of of what is going on. ESN will come at their time to give the public details. ESN will take their responsibility, give details of their operations when and where necessary. It is not the duty of anybody to be speaking on behalf of ESN. It is the duty of ESN to take responsibility and address the public. So people should desist from carrying fake news. Mazi Solomon, this week we've been talking about leadership in Igbo land, Eastern region, and we've seen the question of leadership. How, yesterday you gave narration of experience and activities when it comes to leadership in Igbo land, and how the leadership in Igbo land was infiltrated by foreign culture, and the need for us to look inward, restructure. Like the zoo, they said they want to restructure. We have to restructure ourselves too from inside to be able to find the best part in leadership, incorruptible one indeed, and be able to give our people the right direction. Because right now, what we need is leadership, and that leadership is coming from an unexpected end. And as usual, when leadership emerges from an unexpected end, it is always difficult for people to accept it. But we just have to live with the reality that we need leadership, and this leadership is coming from an unexpected end. But we don't have option but to accept it, Mazi Solomon.
Thank you so much, Mazi Pat. We must make our point very, very clear to our people. Please just follow us. If there will be anything we have not clarified at the time of talking about this leadership, you can call our attention into it. That's why it's very important you get your pen and papers close to yourself, because one thing will open up the door for another thing. So many times there is so many informations as to regard to the way that Igbos has been ruled and all that. So it's not something that anybody can just come and we say everything at once within the very short time that we are sitting here to broadcast. So it is things that if you are not clear with anything we say, jot down and come forward with it. Things that you needed clarification on, then we will give you detail on that very aspect. Now, we must make the message very clear to our people. When you talk leadership, leadership is not a leader. A leader is the person presiding over the leadership. over the leadership. So when you said a leader, that means you are talking about someone, you are talking about a person. But when you talked about leadership, you are talking about the system. You are talking about system of the system, or a system in which a leader can operate in. So when a leader is operating a system, we call that system leadership. Leadership. So leadership does not mean a person. Rather, leadership means a system in which people felt the activities of leaders, in which the leaders used to operate, is a kind of mechanism in which the leaders use to reach out to the people that they are leading. So now when we say failure in leadership, you will know that it comprised a lot of things. It connects to a lot of activities as to regard to the direction that Igbos required at this very particular time. Now, when you come to the side of the leader in a leadership, every leader in a leadership always adopt a particular style of leadership based on the issue that you are called to address. So everybody should not rule the same way, but it all depends on the issue you want to address per time. What issue do you want to address? That will determine the kind of leadership system that you will want to adopt to reach out to the people. So from this very point is where I want people to start understanding when a leader emerge, you in the emergence of a leader, then you could be able to understand from the basic of what that leader is coming to address. What problem does that leader come to tackle? Because that will what will determine the kind of leadership system that that very leader will adopt in order for him to address the issue or the challenge. That is why we said Igbo enweze. But in this present time, we want to see Ezigbo. We want to see Ezigbo because there is so many issues that needed to be addressed in Igbo land. There are so many issues that need to be addressed in Igbo land. And one of those issues is as very much important because it involves it involves life, and it involves life, properties, and our land. Very, very important. That the challenge we are facing today as to regard to the conquest of the Fulanis requires that Igbo genweze. That is where we are driving at. Igbo enweze, very good in the way that our people did not regard king, but yet they govern themselves, they respect themselves, they grow the economy, they grow they are self-sufficient, they achieved a lot of things within themselves and within their communities, and that system has been so peaceful, and that system has been so mature that even when the European comes, they see that very system as a democratic system in which they are trying to replicate in their places right now, but it has never worked so well with them, even the way it works well with our forefathers, because our forefathers have the deeper understanding. And not only that, our forefathers, they are ordinary women who are existing on this very earth, but they are also spiritual in such a way that the perfection of a man is not in the physical, but when a man can be perfect is when he has the unity of the physical man and the unity of a spiritual man. That is when you can say that a man is complete. So our forefathers, they practice that way of democracy in the perfection of human, because in the perfection of human, because there is a proper union between the physical man and the spiritual man, which they are. So that makes them very perfect. So for instance, today, a man who look very good, very handsome, wear good clothes, put good cream, then outwardly look very fantastic, but inside of that man is full of wickedness, which we have seen. People who speak good grammars, go good school, they even like by the way of their look, but instead of them is full of wickedness. That means that man is not perfect. Spiritually, you are bound in wickedness, but physically you are seeing yourself being accepted by people in your way of look. But in the whole contents of an Igbo man is that they did not assess you only the way you look physically, but they also assessed you how beautiful is your soul, how beautiful is your spirit, how beautiful is your inward man, which is more spiritual, and the people doesn't see it as they see the physical man. But Igbo man also look inward to see how pure you are inside, how truthful you are inside, and how genuine you are inside. So we go beyond the physical. That is why that very democracy way of governance work with our people, because we sought for the purification of the heart. We sought for the purification of the heart. We sought for the cleanness of the heart. So that is what makes democracy to work. And why democracy is not working even from people who saw it and adopt it from Igbo land. Why it's not working with them is because they are the sepulchres that are being decorated outside, but inside is full of dead bone. The same devil that want to kill, want to destroy, want to take over, want to conquer, the same devil that wanted to overrun villages and be the lord of others, the same devil went and now put on the clothes of democracy. Put on the cloth of democracy in disguise, but he's still Adolf Hitler. But he's still the wicked element that is about to destroy humanity. But Igbos did not see democracy that way. The Igbos see democracy as the cleanliness of inside that eliminates outside. That is why they have Nze, Ozo. These are the people that have swear to uphold the truth all the time, even against their own life, in the expense of their own life, to uphold the truth all the time. So in our tradition, when you come to that very point, there is a particular ceremony that will be conducted on you, that they have to cut your tongues and give mark to your tongues, that with your tongue you covenanted with your tongue to say the truth all the time. These are the certain rituals that took place in Igbo land. That when you come to that very point, they have to covenant, they have to put covenant between your tongue and the truth. Illegal bandu with ezioku. So they will give mark in your tongue that this is a covenant between you, between your tongue and the truth, that you will always profess the truth, no matter the consequences, no matter the challenges, no matter the pressure, you will always say the truth, that you never use your tongue to speak lie, you never use your tongue to betray others, you will never use your tongue even to sell out your people. And that was when there is no saboteurs in Igbo land. But when the European comes, they conquered us, and all this culture and tradition was covered. And they become a lot of fake now come amongst the Igbos, a lot of fake life. They begin to throw out the warrant shift in order just to help them to advance their conquest. And that is what we are discussing today. So failure in leadership amount to everything, to so many things. When we say failure to leadership, we will be bringing forward the governors who say that he's an Igbo man, but he is not fighting for the cause of Igbos. We will bring him forward even people who say that they are Igbo millionaires, but they are not fighting for the cause of Igbos. We will be bringing people who says that they are even cultural leaders of Igbo land, but yet they are not fighting for the cause of Igbos. Then we'll be bringing forward even people who said that they are the political elite of Igbos, but yet they are not fighting for Igbo cause. What went wrong? We need to understand that all these things boils down to Igbo Enweze. It all boils down to Igbo. So they saw it as an advantage that there was never a time we will agree on a thing, and they are taking advantage of it to balkanize us, to balkanize our communities, to sell us out, to grow saboteurs in anything that has to be the cause of Igbos. So today, the leader will emerge based on the challenge that you faces every day, you faces every time. Now, I want to give you an instances. A time come in the land of Israel, they faces the challenge of a man called Goliath and the 7 other of his brothers, who are terrorizing every border of Israel, throwing challenge to them that we want you to get us a man who will fight with us. And they are set to conquer the land of Israel, the promised land which God has given to them. I tell you, I read my Bible, and I'm hearing one reverend saying this morning when I was watching his program, he was saying that Bible is like a library. A library where you go to make research of history of things. And in searching of history, when you read Bible plainly, with a clean heart, with a clean mind, you will see some histories that has played out as recorded in the Bible, and you will also watch to see those history repeating themselves at your own time. So it helps to give you better understanding of what is happening, and help your brain fast to articulate solutions and know how you can relate in such issues. Now, there was a challenge in the land of Israel when their land is about to be conquered by the terrorists who terrorizing all their borders, challenging them to come forward in battle with them. Then that was a national challenge to the Israelites. And at that moment of that challenge, a leader needed to emerge. There was a very important need for emergent of a leader. So it was at that very point that David emerges a leader. It is that very point that David emerges as a leader. So every leader is being called out. Every time in leadership, leaders are being called out based on the challenge that were needed to be addressed. Leaders are being called into position based on issues, based on the challenge that needed to be addressed at that moment.
Most of the time, the emergence of leadership in certain centuries past have always been as a result of challenge. As a result, the emergence of leadership happens when there is a lack of leadership. Because if there is leadership, there won't be emergence of leadership. If leadership is already in existence, then there won't be need for emergence of a new leadership. Now, when you look at the history of the David in the Bible, the emergence of David came as a result of problem that the children of Israel were facing at the time, similar to what we have today. We have a situation of Goliath in our hands, and David emerged from nowhere. And these are the things we are looking at so that our people will have a clear picture. Because most of the time, our expectations are different from we always pray for solutions. But we tend to tell God how we want him to solve our problem. Or we put an expectation on how we want our problem to be solved. But most of the time, our problem, the solution to our problem doesn't come from where our eyes or hope are put on Mars. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes,
from what you expect.
Yes, Mazi, that's exactly what we are trying to narrate here, because very soon we'll be opening the line for people to come and contribute, because we need to recognize this challenge that we face this day, and then that will help to grow our expectation. That will help to make us to be clear of what we should be expecting at this very time. And somebody is here wasting his time. You were not forced to join us in this very conversation, and therefore We are not also here to do things the way you want it. So if you actually have an update that you want to give us as to regard to what happened to Olu, and or you are on haste to hear it, then you can equally get ready to call into this very program, because we have already narrated to you in the beginning of this very broadcast that what is happening at Olu or anywhere or any activities of ESN, that nobody speaks for ESN. ESN takes responsibility of any of their action. So if there's anything you are in hurry to hear about what happened at Olu, then the flight is there, or you pay your transport money. You can run straight to Olu, even right away this night. You can go. If you are in abroad, you can confirm your ticket, go to Olu, and then you confirm if you are in hurry. So we have already said anything you did not hear from ESN, then that is not truth. We are not, ESN are not running based on propaganda. They have spoke people. So whenever they do things, they own responsibility for their activities. So if there is anything you have heard from anybody or from anywhere that this is what happened at Olu, then you must know that that information did not come from ESN. Somebody said that our leader wrote. In what page did our leader wrote? Because you guys, you know that ESN is real. What we are talking here is about a serious business. ESN did not come here to play like so many people are playing in the Facebook. You want to chat with cheap phone or all that. ESN they are in for a serious business to make sure that our lands are being protected from the Fulani terrorists who have chased away our farmers from the farm, and who has been in the business of raping our mothers, killing our fathers, and making life unbearable in our farm. So this is the reason why ESN we are created. So, and anybody that comes and run aside with these terrorists who has been terrorizing us on our land, anybody that come on their defense, we have ESN to contend with. But if ESN take any action, it is in their position to come and claim their action. So they are not running the affairs of ESN in hiding. They are not running it in hiding. If you did not hear any news from ESN, that simply means until ESN come to say we do something or we act on thing, until then, don't believe any fake news. Don't believe any fake news, any fake picture. Don't believe it. ESN is not Facebook activities where you can just come and say whatever you want to say, or do whatever you want to say, or do your Photoshop, post online, or do whatever. That is not what ESN is. Please, people should detach themselves from trying to be the spokesman of ESN. You should detach yourself from that activities. It's not in your position. It's not in your position to report or to believe anything that ESN did not say we do. That is the fact. And if you think that we are coming here to run Facebook, where we'll be coming to run our mouth, that is not our activities. We are here to educate you. We are here to make sure that your brain function the way it's supposed to be functioning. That is why we are here. We are here to you to understand why things are being done and why things should be done the way we are clamoring for. So you must wait for ESN to come out and tell you they took a certain action or they do a certain things. We don't want all these enemies of the people, the enemies of Biafra, to hijack the activities of ESN. To hijack the activities of the ESN. ESN is not being run by propaganda. It is a reality. It is reality. Somebody is putting down his life. So it's not going to be a kind of propaganda. People are putting down their life. So there is no propaganda. Everything is said purely the truth of the matter on the ground. And the ESN has to come that anything, any action they take, they will come to tell us they took that action and they own that responsibility. Unu etinyezina mmadụ okwu n'ọnụ a na-agba n'okirikiri ndị asịrị akụrụ akwa na kpụrụ m everywhere agada ka anụrụ piom piom piom. Only asịrị is what most of us are trading on, expert on, very, very expert. ESN has not said anything. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not released anything, any write-up. So verify the account in which you are receiving your information from. That is very, very important. ESN is not being run by propaganda.
Mazi, without flogging much on the issue of ESN and what is happening and all, we'll be coming to that. We'll be analyzing. We'll be giving our people details of what is happening. So if you are in a hurry to go to bed, you can go to bed. You can watch the program later. For those who have data to follow us, because we are here to talk about leadership and we cannot deviate from it. We cannot deviate and start telling you stories that does not exist. So if you want to, I will be dropping the link in a short while. If you want to join us on the live stream, you can copy the link and join. The phone line will be open soon. You can as well call in and ask a question. But before we do that, Mazi Solomon, there is a clip I want to play as regard to the issue of leadership.
Thank you.
In Igbo land and in the Eastern region in general, where leaders have lost their onions, they've lost the vibe, they've lost the taste of leadership, and it's now making the young people to start fashioning the way out, because we cannot leave this present leadership to the next generation. It's completely impossible. Let's take this clip.
The greatest danger to the unity of this country, to the breakdown of this country, is not Igbos, it's not IPOC, it's not Biafra, it's not even Yorubas, it's not the Ijos, it's not Arewa even. It is the husband, this armed headman carrying AK-47, and then also this Boko Haram. These two things are the things that are threatening this country. Boko Haram have been there for nearly 10 years. First World War didn't last up to 5 years. Second World War didn't last up to 6 years. This is the longest war. It's a war. And you know the thing that worries me about it? Every day they tell us they have disembarked, they have done this, they have done this. The war is being fought round and round, round and round. In the School of Infantry, the first lesson we are taught is that the only easiest way to defense is by being on the offensive. If I'm to advise Mr. President Onwa, I'll tell him that they are fighting a defensive war. They can't win that war. They must be on the offensive. Offensive means security. Intelligence must find out who are these Boko Haram, where are they, who are they. Squadrons of airport, and go and raid them in their place. Carry the attack to their homes. America will support us, Britain will support us. If we continue what we are doing, it's not going to work. They get our strength. They have changed now, they have the kidnapping group. Many places are not, can't go many places. They are spreading around the country. They have attacked Enugu. Make no mistake about it. The people have an ambition. There is no need making a mistake about, because I read an article on Saturday in Sun, a press statement by the Elders president. I mean, he said clearly what they planned. He says that our land is their own. He didn't deny it. It's a press conference recorded. In Igbo land, the land is owned by people. We don't accept that. And then the matter is serious. So I want.
Yeah, so Mazi Solomon, you will remember that some few weeks ago, this same Emmanuel Iwanyanwu said that IPOB is endangering the life of Igbos in Nigeria. And today he has come out to now, after IPOB have called his mind back to his own personal atrocities against the same Igbos. He now is now beginning to tell that IPOB is not the problem of Nigeria. But these are elders who were there and IPOB was proscribed.
Yes, Mazipat. That's why it's very, very important that we treat this issue of leadership. Now, like as I said earlier, do you see he really comes out to mention what is the problem? Because so many of them think we are playing. So they think we can be intimidated by their presence. They think that they can intimidate us with money by their position in controlling of Naira. So that whenever they say a word, then we will run under bed. But we have dear all these men in a different level in which they come against us, like what is happening today. They will send their armies and police everywhere. They will be making parade, thinking that we are going to shiver, thinking that we are going to change from our positions or stand. But we have always remained formidable. They have even gone to the point of trying to buy the deputy leader of, and there's some group of people confusing them that we don't need to participate in what we are doing today, that ESN don't need to be created, but we have dared them that there was nobody who has the capacity to divide us, nobody who has the capacity today to stop us from doing what we are doing. And when they find it out that these people, you cannot intimidate them with money, with your position in control of money or anything, when they find out the truth, they will come out like this. Now, I really thank him at this very point, because he is now speaking out based on the problems that is staring at our face, the problem that is facing Igbo as a race, the problem that is facing Biafra as a race. He's now speaking forth. The agenda of the Fulani is the problem. The agenda of the Fulani is the challenge, and that is the same challenge that makes David to makes the emergence of David possible, because we, the people of Igbos and the Biafrans, we are looking out to people to speak out in this manner, reminding people the challenges that are facing them. So because that is the only thing that will make people to articulate what they need at this time. We need the emergence of a man, we need the emergence of a leader like David, that we dare the Goliath, we dare to face Goliath. That is at the point where we needed Igbo. Because of the challenge, it's not because we have not been able to govern ourselves, or because we are not living in peace among ourselves, but we are seeing a challenge that is facing our race as people. We cannot keep quiet at that very point in the way we govern ourselves. Igbo might be a very good terms, may be a very good statement for us, because we don't really need it to govern ourselves, because we are human, we are a kind of bread that are self-insufficient. We are out clean in the way that our forefathers handed over our heritage to us. We are complete men and women. We are clean from inside to outside, so we can practice democracy, because democracy is a game of sincerity of heart, not sincerity, not through the word of mouth, or not by physical looking. It is from the depth, the truth that is being said from the heart. It is the way that democracy has been practiced. But today you have criminals who are wearing the cloth of democracy. And how can they lead you in democracy? Because what they profess with their mouth is not what they believe in their heart. And that is why we are running this program. Now he's pointing out to you exactly what is the problem. And because of this problem that he's pointing out today, then we need the emergence of a leader that will lead Igbos, that will be Igbo in this matter that is challenging everybody in Nigeria today. This is why we talk leaders. The line will be open, and we want you to come and contribute in this very program, because people don't know why we support Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They don't know why we support War Igbo Congress. They don't know why we support ESN. That in the way of our governance, that is good for us. But in the challenge of the Fulani conquest, Igbo ga-enwe. Thank you, Mazi Pat. Display the number to call here. Display the number to call here.
Yeah,
please.
Mazi, I'll be putting the number on the screen in a few minutes. And I hope I already received the first call, but the first call, I'm going to call him back so that we can relate with him. He called in because maybe he has something to contribute and maybe he has a question to ask. So I'll be calling him back. I told him that the line is not yet open. So let's see if we can get him.
Exactly.
Hello.
Igbos need active leader now.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Brian Daniel.
You're welcome to the program, Bright.
Hello. Thank you. I just have a contribution to make, and I have 3 contributions to make that are appealing to all our people listening. We have 500 people listening, and those that will be listening later. We have a role to play, and that role that we have to play is this. Our brothers and sisters who are at home do not know what is happening. They do not know what is happening. I called somebody on phone today and I was trying to update this person. And the person was arguing. You know what he told me? That the thing is happening towards Benue side or towards all those areas. I said, okay, there is a clip I want you to watch. That I have sent the clip to you. Watch that clip. He said he don't have data. I said, okay, no problem. I'm going to send data to you. I transferred data to him. He said, oh, that he received the data, but he cannot use that data to watch that thing. That he wanted to use the data for something else tomorrow. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is this. We here who have access to internet availability, we pay for it and we have it. They over there, they pay for it, but they cannot have it. You know the way they pay for electricity and they will not have it. That is also the way they pay for data. They cannot get it. You here listening, you have a brother at home. Tell them what is happening. Tell them, let them buy food and keep it in the house. Tell them what is happening. That something dangerous is happening. Do not only welcome the call that Mama is sick, he is admitted in the hospital. You send €100, you send $100 alone. No. Tell him whenever he is sleeping, let him sleep with one eye. If there is nothing else he can do for himself, let him sleep with one eye. That is number 1 suggestion that I want to make. Tell them that something is happening. Since they don't want to stop the internet, they only want to use their phone to play music or to download music. Tell them that there is danger. Explain to them.
Yeah, I think our brother.
Delivered in the hospital, that there is problem. When they accept that, then you go ahead and give them the money. Even if they don't accept, make sure you pass the message to them. That's number 1. Number 2 that I want to comment on is this. Today, again, my brother went to somewhere. After all the support I'm giving to him, he went to Joseph Carlo, UK. That's what they call it, because I'm also appealing that anytime you people have time, make another program so that our people will know the reason why they should stop following these politicians. There are some of us who has never drank good water in their life, treated water in their life. There are people go and see what the state of our schools, secondary schools and primary schools. Some people, the lands have been sold out. Go and see the nature of our hospitals. If you people who will create that time, I appreciate the work. I know it is not easy. Take it or take it. Try your best. If you people will create that time again and educate them again on the reason why they must not follow Ali Sodi, why they will not follow Ochozo Carlo to go and collect that 10,000 naira. If my own brother went and collected 10,000 naira today, after all my support to him, that 10,000 naira of Ochozo Carlo will make him to forget everything he's doing and running up and down. UK, divine mandate. If you people will create out time to make a program to educate them on the reason why it is a cause and why it is a sin to follow any politician. Again, another suggestion I want to make is this. I don't know, some people will misunderstand me, but I'm going to mention them. The name I'm going to mention is this. I heard, because you have a man of God with you there, I heard that it is the living that will praise God. It is not the dead. I have heard something like that before. If that is true, why is this thing? This one now is a question. Why is this thing too hard for somebody like Kumui, for somebody like Adeboye to open their mouth, for somebody like Mbaka to open their mouth to tell our people that there is danger? Why is our people? Why is even my own wife going here on Sunday? Even after telling her, do not go, look at what is happening. Why would they still argue? What is this thing? Is this thing a cause? Why would they go to Adeboye? Why would they go and sit down there? Well, I am not against anybody going to listen to the word of God, but if they will, as much as they could, to go and listen to the word of God, and not giving this our hard-earned money again of any type. After they hearing the word of God, keep that your 50 naira, keep that your 100 naira. Do not give it to back. Do not give it to Adeboye. Do not give it to Kumuyi. Since he will not stand in the pulpit after doing Monday Bible study and the Thursday revival hour and the doing Sunday lecture, you will not tell them that it is you that are living for here today that will praise God. It is not the dead. That these people are coming to. Do you want to tell me that all these killings that is happening, that there is no deeper life member that have died? Do you want to tell me that there is no redeemed member that have died?
Please, my brother, can you please round it up so that I'll be able to take other calls?
People who are listening to here should help me pass this message. Ask this your brothers at home all these questions so that they will be able to sit up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you. Yeah, so Mazi Solomon, we have another caller. Please, if you are calling in, you have just 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes to make your contribution. So that others you'll be able to give other people a chance to call. Mazi, he talked about the politician, but we're not going to talk about that today. There is a clip I want us to take.
Yeah,
that,
Mazi,
yes.
Excuse me, before you take the clip, please. Can I say this because the first clip you play, I don't know if the people we are speaking to or our people who are listening are getting our point from that very clip. Now, why we play that very clip is because if we started telling you the problem that Igbos face today as a race, you will begin to doubt us, or maybe we are saying because we are biased. But this is Iwanyanwu. After we have taught him a lesson, then he came out now to tell you exactly what the problem is. And he even putting them that they are not equally afraid to say it openly at this very time, that they want to conquer you in your land, that they want to take your land, that they want to grab your land. In this very way, we are facing this challenge today, and we are still discussing it at this level. Now, what do you think we need? How do you think this problem can be addressed? Do you think that Igbo as a race or Biafran as a race can address this kind of problem by speaking with different voices, by not having a voice, by not having a leader? Do you think that one community can withstand the conquest challenge of the Fulanis? Do you think so? Because Mazepat, you also need to play the clip of that warrant chief from Enugu State who is talking his own opinion also. But Iwayan were able to present to us what the problem is. So you will now know why we need a leader. And as I said earlier, that emergent of any leader is based on the problem that they are coming to address. As long as Igbo is concerned, we don't need Eze when there is no problem that Eze is coming to address. But now that we are seeing the problem, and the Wanyanwu has also come out to seize the problem that Igbo faces as a race, that Biafran faces as a race. In this junction, we need Eze that will carry us into this very battle in order to rescue the situation, in order to address the challenge that are facing us. Because this is not going to happen anytime soon with the politicians. they have been bought over. You have seen it in their body language. You have seen it in their voices, in the words they say. You have seen it in their actions. That anytime soon, this challenge can never be addressed by people who were appointed to work for Nigeria, who are Nigeria leader. If this problem should be addressed, it should be a core Igbo, a leadership or a leader that represent in totality, in, out. We are not talking about something people say. Remember the example I gave you as to regard to the democracy that is being practiced in Igbo land. It is something that is in, out. Cleanliness of inside is what they live in outside. But in a society now where the inside is full of dead bone, wickedness, vipers, witchcraft, wizard, and they are putting on the cloth of democracy, we cannot get anybody from that circle that can lead Igbos out of this very challenge of herdsmen and the conquest of the Fulanis. That is just the truth. Before Mazipat proceed, Mazipat, thank you. You can go on.
Thank you very much,
Just
Mazi,
make
for
a
your analysis. We have a caller. Hello, brother. Welcome to the program, caller.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your patience as well.
My name is Mazi Obiwane. Please, there's something I want to correct. I want to talk about to especially Mazi Solomon. Please, in this very program, this is the IPOP, the Indigenous People of Biafra program, and now we want to Mazi Solomon is talking about the leadership in Igbo land. Please, if I may suggest or advise, I think this has to do with our language, because there is something I want to explain concerning this leadership that I don't want to go more exposed, because I discovered that every ethnic has their secret way of leadership, but unfortunately, Britain destroyed our central leadership, and it was purposefully. Okay, it's not. See, what we're having, the problem we're having today in Igbo land, it's never as an accident. It was purposefully destroyed by the British in order to keep us down. But first of all, I want to use our language, because if we're talking about a leadership that has to do with Igbos, Igbo are part of one of the ethnic in Biafra land. And if you are talking about this very particular ethnic being called Igbos, we must use our language to educate ourselves, to tell ourselves more, because there are some of our people who are there who cannot hear the English we're speaking. We must use our language to make them to understand the challenges we're facing, especially our old people at home, old people over there. There are most of them that may have opportunity through their children to hear what we're talking. Still, we must use our language, because it has to do with, this is a particular ethnic, which is Igbo, and everybody must hear. When we speak Central Igbo, everybody must hear. Even if we speak a dialect, I can understand more than any other thing. So, and on that note, I don't know if I will be permitted to use my Igbo language to explain a little bit what I saw, the structure that was destroyed by British from the beginning in order to keep us down, to control our destiny. I don't know if I will be permitted to use our language. Please.
I would have preferred that you use if you can speak this good English, because this is not an Igbo. As much as we are discussing, we are talking about this.
This has to do with
listen. We are talking. Listen.
Comprises different languages.
Listen to me. We are talking about.
This is a particular ethnic that has to do with Igbo. And there is something I want to point out.
Mazi, can you please listen to me? Can you listen? Can you pay attention? We are talking about leadership, Igbo leadership, and the entire Eastern region. Because the failure in Igbo leadership have transcended to the point where we have the entire Eastern region with other ethnic groups losing confidence in the leadership of the Igbos, who are the majority in population in that region. So we are not just, it's not just an Igbo-based discussion. We are talking about the failure of leadership in Igbo land and the entire Eastern region. That the Igbos, listen to me, please.
Go ahead, but I want to remind there's a history that has to do with us that I want to talk about, to remind us where the whole thing started. In the structure that every male child in every family goes there to study how leadership is all about and how the culture tradition is being upheld in our land. Those are the structure. And the model today is what is going on in the north. Being what to call in no matter any, as long you are a Muslim houses born in the north, you must go to a school called Karatu. If your parents happen to be more rich or opportuned on average family, you must go what to call Islamic school. And this is exactly what the British brought. British brought two religions in our land. One is Muslim, one is Christian. But in Muslim, they constructed what to call political structure. And that is why we have Emir of Sokoto today, who stand as a structure. Everybody, as long as you're a Muslim in Nigeria, whether west, south, whatever, you must go, whatever you're going to achieve in Nigeria must go through him, which is the standing as a central structure. That whatever he said, stand. And but on today, our children start speaking English right from kindergarten. There is no cultural lecture. They don't give them the structure, the history, who we are. Because that very Alochukwu was destroyed from the beginning. Because that very lecture that our people go through, there's a structure we must pass through before you begin to learn any other foreign culture. You must be studied. You must learn your own culture, your history, and what should be done. And this very culture have what to call command and control. When a central structure make a statement, every other people pay attention. And that is exactly what the British refused us to have, destroy, which we are having before in Aloju. But they brought this politics that everybody begin to sell slavery. That's what they used to destroy that very structure of Aloju. And Igbos, till today, they find it difficult to come together as a body. So
yes,
that is why you can see sabotuas more easier. Sabotuas everywhere because they don't know the value. But they don't try it in the north. If you try sabotua in the north, you know what is await for you. So the fear will not allow you to sabotage your brother out there because there is a central structure. And this very Karatu, you have like a board. They would teach you there is a political structure that very Karatu. That even a little Almajiri in the street has one thing in common with that northern elite in the House of Assembly. They have that mindset, that is political structure, which has been taught to them from that Karatu or Islamic school. But today, in other states, can come to the east, take a land and build a Islamic structure, which if any northern man that is a Muslim in the east must go there to learn their culture, learn what we call command and control. You must listen, whatever they say is you obey. But today we don't have that body. Okay? Everybody can be born in the northern, begin to behave like a northern person. If you are born in a Yoruba land west, you begin to behave no structure that holds us together. And that is why we are having leadership failure. And the British purposely created it. They never allowed that body, which was supposed to build us together, to stand, to build that strong command and control as a leader. Okay? And that is why, which the Ohanese and Igbo, no matter how they try, they cannot establish. No, they will not allow them to have that structure. Because you today, you find out that somebody that call himself an Igbo person cannot even speak Igbo. They begin to teach him English from kindergarten. How do you expect that person to know what you stand for? It's not possible.
Yeah,
How do you expect that person to know there's what to
call?
There's what to call.
You made very.
He said he must obey.
Yeah,
How
caller.
do you come about that? So
You
those
made.
are the problem.
You made.
So if we must have a leadership, you must come from the fundamental. We must start from the scratch to build that give mandatory from the east. Any child born from the east, this is the language and the structure that we must call, what to call our tradition, just like Mazi Solomon said. We have culture. Those days, your tongue is being taught. If you speak lie, you will die, because those are the traditional culture. But they brought this white man religion that demarcated us, that will find it difficult to find ourselves in one umbrella. Everybody speaks different tongues, and you cannot have a leadership in such environment. And that is the problem. But check out the other side of our opponent, the northern side. No matter how foreign, whoever they were, they don't care how tasty you have. Don't have how many as you have. You come back, the same Almaji will tell you where to sit. They don't care because no matter how PhD you go to America to obtain, if you come, the same Almaji will give you seats to sit because they believe in their culture. That's strong on there. They don't mind, they don't give a shit on the Western education. How do you expect us people not to have a strong structure and give a
thank you, caller. Thank you. We appreciate. Yeah, we appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. You made valid point. Thank you very much. Yes. So the caller, like I told you, if you are calling in, the maximum time I will give you is 3 minutes, and if you exceed that time, I wouldn't have option than to. If you want to join us on the live stream, you can spend the whole 2 hours, 3 hours with us. But if you are calling in, I expect that you also be able to give other people the opportunity to also make their case. So, but he made a very valid point. Mazi Solomon will be coming in to maybe say 1 or 2 things on his contribution, and we move from there.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mazi Pat.
Mazi, you heard what caller said.
Yeah, as to regard to what the caller is saying, is exactly the things that we are trying to narrate here. But actually, you must look into the problem, the problem that accepting defeat from Fulanis, accepting defeat from the Europeans that conquered our area, accepting that defeat, you must acknowledge the problem that it has accumulated for us. So therefore, are you saying right now that we are facing the challenge of Fulanis trying to conquer our land, trying to take over that ancestral land in where you are going to take time from the scratch to train people about the culture, train people about how to speak the language? Are you now saying that the land where we are going to stand to be able to grow this system, that we should leave Fulani to conquer it, because we want to go back and start teaching people on how to speak Igbo, on how to know the tradition? Is that how we are going to face the Fulanis at this very time? No. We have all the time to continue that. We have all the time before now to continue fighting the British that conquered our tradition. We continue, because at what point did you give up? At what point did you give up on your people? Because that is the question you have to be asking yourself. At what point did you give up in fighting for your people, in fighting to make sure that the tradition and religions of your people were not destroyed? Because you are not the only one that has faced the situation of their religion and their tradition. Their traditions has been destroyed, and yet they went back and built it from the scratch, and they are standing today. Or you could say they refuses to give up the fight. But at what point did we surrender? At what point did we declare that we have lost it? That is the failure in the leadership. That is failure in leadership. When your leader hand you over to defeat, when your leaders give up and they abandon you and they begin to do other things and they left your fight, that is the failure of leadership. So we have all the time to have continual fighting to make sure that the defeat and the conquer that the British brought to our land to conquer our religions and to conquer our traditions, we could have continued engaging on that fight up to these very days to make sure that our people are not conquered, but not to say that is what we should be doing now in the face of the challenge of Fulanis that are coming to do the last bid of the British. It's not what we should be. If whether you are Igbo that doesn't know how to speak Igbo, or you are Igbo Biafra anywhere in any of the other states that are not the core state of core 5 states of Igbos, Anywhere you are, what we are telling you is about the challenge that are staring on our face now, and we need the emergent of a leader. We need the emergent of a leader. That at that point, Igbo supposed to have king that will lead them, or else you will not have time to build that institution that will come back to train people about religion, about the Igbo traditions, and all of them.
Maz, I think we have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I want to thank you guys for holding forth for our people, because your work for our people is great and enormous. And I can see the challenges you guys are facing from our brothers who should naturally support what we are doing, but they are not. So once more, I say thank you to you all for keeping on. So my contribution to the program goes as thus. One, let us know that we are living in danger, and that this time calls for vigilance. Our enemies are very prepared, and they are looking at what we will do if we will capitulate. So my major stake and contribution is that I like the way we are taking them head on. We should not give up, because when we give up, what will befall us will be worse than what we have faced. It is said that he that have started a race should never stop until he gets that is demanding. They are also feeling the heat, and I am optimistic that very soon they will capitulate. What the government is doing now, the challenges we are facing from them, is the last straw they can give to see if they will break us, because what they are working on is breaking our psychic, our resolve to continue. But if we can persevere, I believe that in 1 year, 2 years, they will see reason to come to the table and we discuss as humans are supposed to do.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you for making it brief. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, so Mazi Solomon, we've talked about leadership. We've talked about, now there is a statement that is put out there by OY, or Haneze Youth Council, and I would like to read it out, because these are part of the leadership issues we're talking about. After reading it out, then I can play the clip. Press release by OYC, military presence. Military presence, no cause for alarm in Olo. OYC, Ohaneze Youth Council, the youth body of Apex Social-Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Youth Council, OYC, ably by the comrade as the national president, can authoritatively confirm that, contrary to the viral media report that the military deployed their jets and other hardwares on an aerial bombardment in Olo, there was no such incident today in Olo town. Olo town. Very important that we take note. Although military jets were sighted hovering around the bush, media reports of a military bombardment and killing of inhabitants in Olo town were entirely false and misleading. The public should disregard such reports and not take it seriously. There is no cause for alarm in Olo, as the city remains calm and the people going about their legitimate activities without any interruption or violence. What has been happening in Olo since 3 days, OYC can confirm, was a mere routine check by the army, who combed the bushes in the area to ensure it was crime-free, devoid of armed criminal gangs who may be hanging around to foment trouble or cause disorder. It has been observed that some certain groups are always fond of spreading falsehood propaganda and sensationalized material on social media with the wrong motive to raise false alarm and create an impression of what is not actually real. Ohaneze Youth Council OYC hereby advise such groups and individuals to desist henceforth from exploiting the emotions and sensibilities of our people, of the people for their own selfish gains. Ohaneze Youth Council henceforth will not tolerate any group spreading rumors, falsehood, or verified claims in order to create tension or dissatisfaction among the people on social media. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Signed. Mazi Solomon, you've had the press release of Ohaneze Youth on the situation in Nolo. On that note, I want to take this clip and get the feeling of our people in reality.
Jesus. Yeah, but now. It's not gone now. Hey, Jesus Christ, so. Kevin, come. Hey! Kevin, you're down, I got to be good. Kevin, you're down, I want Jesus. The Bible. Hey! Now, what's the name inside? Who not coming ever?
Yeah, so Mazi Solomon, this location is between Lilu and also between Lilu in Anambra and also it's a border town between the two states, and we saw the movement of helicopter, gunship. We saw fire being released, and the people are terrorized. The people are shouting, the people are confused, they don't know what is going on. And here is Ohaneze Igbo Youth Council, denying the fact that our people are being terrorized, that everywhere is calm, that nothing is happening. Mazi Solomon, it boils down to leadership.
That is exactly what we are discussing here, the failure of leadership. Now, how can you express confidence in such group of people as in a position of leader? The same thing we said yesterday when their President General in last year went to River State, did the same thing. Igbos are being killed in Obibo, but he never stepped his leg in Obibo. He never go close to find out what his own people are going through. But imagine the Ariwa who traveled and they came down to Yoruba land, went to the scene where they are told that their peoples are being killed or there is trouble for their people. They went and stand on that soil where the things happen. But in Nyango, they never do it. Failure in leadership. Now, see the group that call themselves the Youth Council of Ohaneze Igbo. Now see them again. Our people are facing the threat by Nigerian army. You heard them clearly. If you are an Igbo man, they are speaking Igbo there. If you are an Igbo person, you heard them clearly. You heard the shot of the gun of the military around the community where the civilians are living, harassing our people, threatening our people, and you see the tension in the community there. Even the small babies, they are crying. They are crying. Everybody is being terrified by the activities of Nigerian army. And the people who you will be trusting a leadership in their hands are coming to tell you nothing is happening. This is where the challenge bears. When we say failure in leadership, so you will understand. Tomorrow, you that are in reality of what is happening, if you are part of this very village, or if you are in this village as this thing is happening now, what confidence are you expected to express tomorrow towards the youth council of Anes and Debo? What trust, what confidence could you have for such people who come to give a statement without a verifiable fact? That is the failure in leadership. That our institutions were destroyed today. Our ways of governance, our traditions were destroyed. The religions of our forefathers were destroyed. The institutions that our forefathers build, which is our inheritance, why they are built today is because of leaders like this. It's because of people who portray themselves as leaders, yet they have no virtues of leadership. Yet there is no skill of leadership in their life. And as long as you continue to harbor such people, and that is what one of our callers says here, that people are going to Oju Zokalu, whose it is open that Oju Zokalu at this very point has nothing to offer to the situation that is facing the Igbo race. And yet he's cheering them 10,000. Why should you wait until a man give you 10,000 for you to fight for the cause of your people? If you are genuine, why do you wait for money? Why do you wait for money? The things that concerns you, the things that concern your family, we are not talking about the poverty level that Nigeria has reduced people. That is something different. But the challenge that are facing our people today about the Fulani conquest, about Fulani terrorism. Now, did we supposed to take money from anyone before we rise up as a people? But look at where they have reduced us, so that any other institution that remain in our tradition to preserve our race, so that they can destroy it finally. On what point did we give up this fight? On what point did we say we cannot fight anymore? On what point did we surrender what we inherit? On what point? And that is why we are discussing the failure of leadership. So you can see it how it plays. So you will know why you can never trust people who are parading themselves as leaders, and yet they have no leadership skill, and yet they have no interest of their people in heart. So this is very, very important. This is the failure of leadership. This is why our place we are conquered by European, and they are preparing to give the final conquest by the Fulanis. These are just because of the leaders like that. So that is why you will know the kind of leader that we need at this moment, and they give a right and they give a support that is required of you. So you will know that at this very point that we faces the challenge of being conquered by the Fulani, that we don't need such leaders who cannot say the truth, who we just give a press release without the facts. You don't need such leaders. You don't need such leaders. If we must survive this time, this time that we're supposed to have Igbo. And let me tell you why we are concentrating on Igbo, because we are going to move to every other tribe. But Igbo adage said, let me tell you, if we have raised our standard, if Igbo as the largest ethnic group in the old eastern region, if they have done all they're supposed to do, we would have not had the problem of leadership in other of our cousins who are not as populated as we are, because we have been a standard. We have been a standard for them. We would have set a standard for them to follow. They would have looked at us, and they will fight and strive to be like us, to be like Igbo, to see a standard. Because when a fountain releases water, the water flow to every channel that is made available for that water to go. If Igbos have stood in leadership, if there is no failure in leadership in Igbos today, there will be no failure in the leadership in Ijoland. There will be no failure in the leadership in Iroboland. There will be no failure in leadership in all these places, because we Igbos have the population to set a standard that these people will fall into naturally, knowing quite well that they are also part of Igbo. They are an extension of Igbos. That is why we are concentrating on Igbos, to know that it is in our responsibility to make things right. It is in our responsibilities to make sure that what was taken away from us is being restored. Because at that very time, I have had so many Akwa Ibom people, river people. Do you know when that Arochukwu institution is functioning? People from rivers, they used to send their children also, because of that history that our brother bring in. That's why I am reminding him that people from Ikwere, people from rivers, cross rivers, they are also sending their children to learn from that very institution until it's destroyed and our people accept that defeat, failure in leadership. At this time around, it is the same thing also playing in our own days. Fulanis are coming. Fulanis are prepared. Fulanis has arranged to conquer. And the one who is coming to tell you openly that he has made his own he has made his own research. And he find out that these people are the problem. These people are the problem. Now, him telling you that these people are the problem is because for you to know the choice of leadership that you need at this very moment. Do you need those who will just come to bring press release without fat? Is that the people you need at this moment? Do you need those who will just come to visit a place that Igbos are being clean and they will not go to that land? Are they the people you are going to choose at this very time that you are facing the conquest of the Fulanis and they are ready for you? That is what we are discussing. So you will know the type of leader you need to support. You know the type of leader that you needed right now to identify with. That is the essence of this very program. If we bring down the history of Igbo, so many things has went wrong. Anywhere you go, there is a kind of failure in the way that our ancestors lived their life. But all these things bust down on the kind of leadership that we have allowed over this very time. And now we are facing with another challenge, and it's going to be another failure if we make wrong choice of leadership. Thank you, Mazi.
Mazi, thank you very much, Mazi. It's been wonderful. We have a caller. Caller, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. And I was one who called before. We'll talk about the Alochukwu, and I want to direct something to Mazi Solomon. Okay, we are contributing, trying to find a way and how to survive or to achieve or to move or kind of advance in leadership. But first of all, before you make advance in every failure, you must know where the falling started, so that you can know how to build it more strong. But without you discovering where the failure started, you will always find it difficult to fix it. And that is why I gave a reference of Alochukwu. Those days, we had it before it was spoiled by the British. Now, the question now we're trying to read now is this. If you remember, first of all, the first war that the Igbos fought was British before 1967. 1967 was the physical one that was organized. You know, they took out the money, they took the position, they rendered the Igbos useless, if not the intervention of God and the love of God towards the Igbos. Igbos were fighting to survive. Everybody diverged. That's why the Chuna Chebe said, the things are falling apart. The table can no longer hold. Because why? Physically, finally, they brought war to disorganize everybody. So everybody after the war in 1970, everybody was struggling to survive. So a lot of tradition, a lot of building, a lot of unity was disorganized. Both our cousin brothers from the river could not, because of pressure, some of them tried to denounce their Igbo-ness because of the pressure. Okay, so a lot of things fell apart after the war. I want to remind something to Mazi Solomon that the problem we have, that's why we are calling Nnamdi Kanu the savior, because the fight we are fighting now is to get the freedom, because only when you are free you can now rebuild. It's only when you are free you can now have leadership in place. It's only when you are free you can now put this the way it should. Because the way things have been structured in the Igbo land today, they were not structured to favor us. They were structured to destroy us. And that is why you find out that somebody from position 4 can be put to lead the people in the Imo State. And nobody can question it. Because the table has no stand. The table has fallen apart. Nobody to stand, because there is nobody, no single voice. And that is why they could survive in doing these things. Because they know that after the war, a lot of things have been demolished from the Igbo land. That structure that's supposed to hold us together were nowhere to be found. And that is exactly what they are moving, they are pushing more harder to continue. They don't want us to build ourselves, because they find out that this is very high pop. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trying to rebuild the Igbos, to bring the position the way they should, and which they never want it to happen. And that's why they are fighting every tooth and nail to make sure that this very IPOP and the fighting of freedom will never stand, because they want us to have this very condition. Okay, so you must understand, most of these leaders you are looking at, they are the victim of the circumstance. Those people were handmade by those our oppressors. The oppressors gave them those positions you are seeing, and that is why they don't have that stand to stand on their ground to defend their people. Look at the governor of Boy State. Just the comment, because he declared openly that the eastern governors has banned open grazing. Now they are charging him for probe, just because of what? Because of the statement. Now they are trying to remind him his sin, the sin he committed. They covered up before, hoping that he's going to hand over his land. Why they never knew that the people of the land will never permit. Okay, and now he's on the fire range. He's on the hot seat. So
Mazi, can you bring the caller? Can you bring the caller into the? Can you send the link to the caller? So if you wish to talk long like this,
because he had called in before, he has a lot of things to say, and caller, I think you have to, if you want, I can send you the link to be part of this program, because you have a lot of things to say, so that we'll be able to give. I said it earlier. If you want to be part of this program, we'll give you the link. You join us on live stream, so that other people who have very brief comments to make can call in. We really appreciate. Yes, if you.
I will write you and say, please send the link.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, so Mazi Solomon, so that other people will be able to have the time to call in and make their own contribution. Please, the line is only WhatsApp. It's only WhatsApp, no direct call. As much as he's making a very good point, I would have loved him to be directly live with us here.
Yeah, Mazi Pat, before you conclude, that is a very good point. We must single something out. He made a point, but we should not say that all the points are valid. You cannot push it away for the leaders who fail not to take the responsibility of their failure. Any leader who fail, even if you lose a war or you lead people to war, when you fail to achieve the objective of that leadership or achieve the objective of the people you are leading, then you have to accept the responsibility of failure. The failure, because this issue of coming to blame, to lay a blame on work, like as people are talking in IPOP today, they will tell you they kill our youth is because of the utterances of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They always want to push blame from one person to the other instead of leaders accepting responsibilities and showing people way forward. Mistake is bound to occur in everything, even in your individual life, in your group life. Mistake is of human. There is human mistake everywhere. Mistake will occur. But for you to not to own the responsibility of the mistake and you want to put the blame shows that you don't have leadership skill. Leaders take responsibility. You cannot shift that away from them, that the leaders are the victim of the circumstances. Why are they victim of the circumstances? Why are they choose to lead? Why are they there to lead? They are there to actually win the battle for the people. They are there to make sure that people did not lose what they are pursuing. People did not lose their pursuit. That's why they are leaders. They will always take responsibility. If Ohaneze and Igbo fail to do what they're supposed to do, they should not put the blame on the governors. They should not put the blame on any individual or on IPOP, because IPOP did not allow us to have meeting, or because of that. That means you don't have what it takes to be in that very position, because leader goes against every odd. Leadership is not bread and butter. It's not bread and butter like as they are having it in Nigeria today. When you just become one leader, it becomes a bread and butter. God has buttered your bread, God has sugared your tea. You are just there looting money. That is not the standard of leadership. That is not what leadership ought to be. Leadership has to be taking a full responsibility of the outcome of your leadership. Taking full responsibility. If Ohaneze Ondigbo fell, they should own it that they fell. We fell so that we can have an opportunity to be able to make choice of who we assume not to fail at where Ohaneze Ondigbo failed. Or we can also take opportunity to study why Ohaneze Ondigbo fell, so that we can be able to correct those things, those reasons why they fell. But for owning the responsibility, they must own the responsibility. So that's what I'm saying on that very context. Our leader, the failure of leadership should be owned by those leaders who failed. They should. Because if you are a leader at that very time, Britain, they come, they overrun you, then is that at what point did you surrender? At what point did you tell Britain that you can't fight them anymore? At what point did you say, okay, it's okay, we accept what you are saying, and this matter will not raise it up anymore? We have a caller, I think.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. By the way, reduce the volume of your set because we can hear echo on the background, please.
Okay, if he's not talking, then
hello, caller. There is noise on your background. Can you please reduce the noise or completely walk away from that environment so that we can hear you better? Go ahead and make your introduce yourself and make your contribution. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Beautiful. Go ahead. Biafrans are listening.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sucha and I'm calling from Senegal. Mazi, I have something to say. I have something to contribute, because that man that have been calling have a lot of things. The man is on the right track, if I'm not mistaken. Because I came to understand that, do you know the reason why all these our politicians, all these our governors, the senators, do you know why they are behaving the way they are behaving? Because that thing that man is saying, that leadership that man is talking about in that Arochukwu is no longer inactive. It's no longer in existence. Then they left our tradition. They went there and they promised them heaven and earth, and they came back. They are finding it difficult now to disobey. Believe you me, they know that something is wrong, but they cannot go against. Why? Because their root is not strong. And why their root is not strong is because that Arochukwu of a thing, it was not built. They were not built from there. That is why when they not say something, they stand on it, they help it. All of them speak with one voice. But when we say something, it will be a kind of standard. This person will speak from here, the other person will speak from here, the other person will speak from here. I will appreciate if it's possible. I know there's nothing is impossible. We are on the right track and we are winning it. I don't care whoever it may concern. If it's possible, the speaker, as our leader is, Mazin Namdekano, as he is, he can tell, he can allow, it's difficult to say, but I'm airing my mind and I'm airing my own view, my own personal opinion. He can air it that all the governors should not be afraid of anybody to speak the truth.
But he has said it many times.
The Eastern Security is behind everybody. We are together. That these people is coming. Let them not be afraid.
The problem is that some people, they just join us newly, or maybe they started hearing Mazin and the Kano of recent.
Do not be afraid. Whatever they want, we give it to them. Even if you eat money, even if you embezzle money, even if you have taken heaven and earth from Nigeria through Mago, through backyard.
But Mazin and the Kano have said all these things before.
Also still, and they have it. You should not fear. So we are with you. Stop. Do not talk anything. Do not be afraid. Do not shake. Whatever they say, if they threaten you, bring it on air. Then we give it to them by hot. Everything. We bring it down.
Caller, thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much for that contribution. Thank you very much. Mazi Solomon, I think that Mazi and the Kano have given Igbo politicians all the benefit of doubt in this world.
Yeah, we should not take it from the angle of the caller. There is so many things that the caller equally misunderstood from our conversation here, because when you dictate what is the problem, so are you telling us now that the Aroshuku temple that was destroyed is just the problem what we need to face now before we face the Fulanis? Understand the point, my brothers. When you are coming here, we are telling you that there is a new challenge we have here. We have all the years to build the temple that if you have acknowledged that this temple is the problem, that we needed to rebuild this temple. Now, who is going to rebuild that temple? Who is talking about that temple? No one, except Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Is it the same Mazin Nnamdi Kanu that they are looking to kill? The same Mazin Nnamdi Kanu that all these people you choose to be your leaders, they gang up. You are calling them your leader today. Somebody who called here said one of them, he was sharing 10,000. And his brother that is helping has to abandon whatever things that he has to do at home to run to go and get his own share of 10,000. Is it these people that you know that over the time they have failed you? Are they the one to build the temple? Or are you not seeing them? You are recognizing them as your leader. They are ganging up against the man that you are asking to go and build the temple. So now Nnamdi Kanu will leave the pursuit, the fight against the Fulani that is almost as our doorpost. He will now leave it and start building the temple. So that he can begin to grown Igbos, to know how to speak Igbos and know how to do. This is a job that could be done in maybe people who said when you restore Biafra. When you restore Biafra, you will be able to build up the broken world and all that and all that. But we are talking of the kind of leadership we need now to face the challenge that is facing us. In a temple Akonkal, long time, that was included in the failure of the leadership we are discussing here, because people who supposed to fight to protect the temple, they give up, and after the temple has been destroyed, they accepted to migrate instead of to continue the agitation for the rebuilding of the temple, knowing that the foundation of Igbos lies there. They give up. Everybody become an European, become an American, and they begin to collect bribe, begin to accept warrant shift. Is this something that we will be talking about today when Fulanis are facing us with their rod? When Fulanis are buying missiles? When Fulanis are buying AK-47? I mean, even the 10 years, 8 years children among them, they are arming them with AK-47. Now, is what we are talking about now is let's go and they build the temple. After we build the temple, then we will grown Igbos. Then we will come back to face the Fulanis. That means you are not seeing clear. We need to see clear. We need to face the problem the way it comes and know the kind of leadership that we need at this moment in order not to face the same defeat that the previous people who come before us face. So that is why we are discussing about the leadership, because so many people need to recognize what they need at this very moment. And because not recognizing what they need at this moment, that's why they are still going to Ojo Zokano to collect 10,000. But if they know what they need, they should make choice. They should make the right choice. You will see reason to support ESN. You will see reason to support Mazen Kanu, because you need to compare these people with the situation that is at hand now before talking of other situation that has been there for a very long time. Thank you, Mazen.
Yeah, Mazi, thank you very much. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Obu, calling from Dallas, Texas.
Welcome to the program, Obu.
I have been listening to the conversation so far, and this is one of the key reasons why we should not just all about fighting and fighting. There are things we need to clear on ground, and with Igbo leadership, we don't have a structure that believes in accountability so far. And then when you look at our situation in Igbo today, you find out that it's like we who is talking about Biafra seems to be on one side, and the other side of people who we know have been messing up the whole thing from the beginning. There seems to be the political structure we have in Igbo land. But the question is, how do we bring these guys to know that we are not just fighting to see Biafra come, but we're also fighting to make sure that whatever they are given to for the Igbo people, that particular thing is being accounted for. And if we keep waiting for how to engage them, talk to them, or keep talking about now, they cannot speak to them, he has been talking. I think it's the time we understand that it's no longer just going to be about talking. For instance, the issue of the security in our land, we have been talking about that. Everybody has been crying until the Eastern Security Network was formed. And we thought the beautiful things those guys are doing, until we fall back and say, yeah, we can actually set up a committee on our own. We can actually set up a panel on our own to tackle these guys, because you and I know they will never want to come and sit down in the same table with you, but they will listen to us. When a local government chairman, we should be able to understand, a local government chairman is given a certain amount to build roads. These are the things we can sit down with the committee that we have, find out this local government received this. And at every month we write them and let them know how much they receive. And we pay a visit to them. If we keep saying, let's gather them, let's bring them, it will never work, because they will never listen to us.
Mazi Pat, can I ask this caller a question? Because I want
hello, caller. Mazi Solomon want to ask you a question.
To be very, very fashioned. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is this. With the leadership, with all the leadership block that we see in Igbo land today, including that of the Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of Igbos and leader of Biafra. Whether anybody believe it or not, he is a leader because he has a very large followers from Igbo land and a very large followers from Biafran land. So he is the leader for both areas. With the leadership we saw today in Igbo land, the leadership block that we saw today in Igbo land, including the leadership of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which leadership do you think that people should vote for at this time, at this point in time, when Igbo are facing the challenge of conquest?
Okay, I understand you. The leadership of Nnamdi Kanu and leadership of Igbo land are not the same. I need us to understand that.
Yes,
These are called leadership, but they are not the same.
Yeah,
And I will
listen,
explain something to you.
listen. There is yes, there is something Mazi Solomon was trying to say here.
Okay, sorry.
That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot succeed as a Biafran leader if he fails as an Igbo leader. That he has to start the charity of leadership from the base, from the Igbos. Because if the Igbos, where he comes from as his tribe within the Biafran structure, do not give him the required recognition and support, it is impossible for other Biafrans, coastal region, other Biafrans in the Benue to give him support. So that is what Mazi Solomon is trying to say. Mazi Solomon, I don't know if I'm wrong or right.
Exactly the questions, and it's very, very clear. I said with the leadership block you saw today in Igbo land, with the challenge that is facing Igbo race presently in Nigeria today, if you are given time to vote which leadership you will want to carry on in Igbo land, which one will you vote?
Good. That's a very good question. And for me to be able to point to you the leadership I want to follow, I will vote for. I will need to explain to you what Nnamdi Kanu leadership entails and what every other leadership structure in Igbo land goes with.
Go ahead.
They are not the same, and we need to understand that. The leadership of IPOP is a leadership on a course that is not just based on the development of Igbo land. Their course is on the point of freedom of the Igbo land, and this set of leadership always goes with what we know as autocratic system of leadership. Whether anybody likes it or not, one man who has a vision only knows what he is asked to do. And in that way, he has body that are, structure that are working with him. But hey, look, he alone knows what he was asked to do. Now, when I talk about having a body that looks into the leadership structure of Igbo land, which nobody else will do for us until we sit down to do it. Even the issue that we saw happening in IPOP, for instance, we saw Deputy Uchemofo and other issues happening. This is something that I believe if we are able to have a very transparent body that looks into some of these problems that our people are having in leadership, both the aspect of corruption, compromise, and betrayal, we should be able to say, okay, we are calling this person to order, and whatever this person is, we are looking for him and we are getting him to answer. Because this thing, like I keep saying it will never go until we come back and say, we can tackle our problem, because you and I know what we are looking for. Some of us who are out from, Igbo land know exactly that things are not the way it's supposed to be. And we have, even back then, we've already know that our leadership is so messed up that it's like, indeed, our leadership is sick here back. Our Igbo foundation is sick here back. But we must come back to ourselves. I'm talking about the youth. This is not going to be elder. We are not talking about our elders. Ourselves who are the young people today need to come back to have a body that fits nice around all of these, structures and be able to know what exactly do we want. Who are we calling to order? And then, like I said, very transparent body, because it's actually getting out of hand. All right? And the issue of the development of Igbo land, I keep saying this, that these guys will never listen to you until you let them know that you can find them wherever they are. When they are aware that you know where they are, you know what they are getting every month or every year annually as allocation. And they are seeing your letter on their table from time to time. You are visiting them from even in their home. We don't need anyone to tell us where they live. We know where they live. We visit them and say, this is what we know. We thought that we were given to do. And we're not doing this thing. And we
Like we have, for instance, we have a storm, a snowstorm, and we have some mayors who made some latest comments. The body that this body are non-governmental, they went on this mayor, and all of them resigned. After yesterday, 3 mayors resigned, all because of comment. You bring this
Okay. Mazipat, can I call the caller in order again?
Yes.
In one question. Caller, if you are hearing me, because you haven't answered my first question, but I want to ask you the second one. Did you believe in the quest for restoration of Biafra? Did you believe that Igbo has a major role to play as to regard for as the in quest for restoration of Biafra? Did you believe it? Did you see it that Igbo has a very big major role to play?
Of course, we have a very big role, both Mandenne, Ogaraga, all of us, and that way I'm thinking we should be going forward. All of us.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. Then now, did you believe that if the Igbos fail to bring themselves together, that if they fail in offering leadership to regard to the role which you believe they can play, do you believe that if they fail to offer leadership on that role, that Biafra will never come? Do you believe so?
Because the cause for Biafra is everybody's fight, and we all need each other till tomorrow. I still believe, like I keep saying this, that we just need to find a means to get this guy into this fight, and there is a means to do that.
Okay, I think my question is very because my brother, that is why we are begging people. We are not that. Can you stop him? Because we have a reason why we are here. And if we are not
is saying something.
If we are not achieving the reason why we took this time to spend this data, then that means that we are just here for nothing.
And by the way, we are rounding up. We are rounding up, and I
so
hope
if you wish to talk this long, you should request for the link to come here so that you can participate. You can wait while others stop, or while others wait for you to talk. And
we give people opportunity to be part of this program on live stream today. Yes.
So now, but we want to end with this because I'm asking you a vital question. You answer me that Igbo has a very big role to play as to regard to restoration of Biafra. Then, and I now ask you the second question. If Igbos fail to coordinate themselves, if they fail in leadership to coordinate themselves to play that role, do you think that Biafra will come?
Even if it comes, it's going to be very difficult.
They have a role to play for Biafra to come. If they
a major
role to play for Biafra to come. If they fail in leadership to play that role, do you think that the Biafra will come?
That's exactly the answer I gave to you. Biafra may likely come, but it's going to be difficult because there are people
okay. Let's take the question this way. Let's take this question this way. If you remove Igbos in the struggle for Biafra, do you think that Biafra will come? Just a simple question. If you remove Igbos, from Biafra, that Igbos are not part of Biafra, do you think that Biafra will come?
No.
That is just the question. So if Igbos must play a big role in this very coming of the restoration of Biafra, that means that the leadership of Igbos, that Igbos has to choose a right leadership. A right leadership is what we are discussing about. Now, the right leadership will facilitate the building up of the temple that was destroyed and the traditions that was broken. But if you didn't get the right leadership, or a right choice of leadership that can be able to match with the challenges that are facing Igbo, we will be more conquered and more destroyed. And the things that we are broken in the past can never have opportunity to be rebuilt. That's what we are discussing here. So we are
Yeah,
here
Carla, thank you very much. Thank you for your
be able to
contribution.
point out to the people. To be able to point
Thank
out
you.
to
Yeah, I
people.
appreciate.
So we are here to educate our people to know the kind of leadership they need in this time that we are in. So we could stop making wrong choices for people who are wasting our time, and they are not taking us anywhere close to freedom. That is why we are here. So all these things that happened is that the
Hello,
only thing that
caller.
we visit is a leadership, a right choice of leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Solon. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Because we'll be rounding up.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you have just 2 minutes to make your.
Okay, my name is Aleke Kevi Chijoge. I'm from Ebonyi State, Example to be precise. I'm calling from Germany. Well, my contribution is this. When you look at the situation on ground now, you can see everything clearly. On the IPOB and Mazinam Dekano have played a major role that we all needed and what we are praying for. The ESA have already given to us. But there is one thing I want that we should focus on. Number one is that we should all be waking up to start the resolution, because talking of unity, I don't think that the level of sabotage on the corrupt people in Biafra as a whole will let that to happen. What I mean with that, from example, you can see now when you talk about traditional rulers, the traditional rulers is answerable to governors. In the normal circumstances, the governors should be loyal to traditional rulers, not traditional rulers loyal to the governor.
That was what we used to have in. That was what we used to have in the past.
Under the governors have corrupt the traditional rulers with money.
Caller, listen. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
The truth is, the governors are still loyal to the traditional rulers, but their loyalty goes to the Fulani rulers. We've seen Wike go to Sultan of Sokoto, bow down, greet him, and receive blessing. But we've also seen the same Wike insulting the traditional ruler in his own state, in a town hall meeting. So we have to look at it in perspective. Make your call. Yes. Go ahead and make it brief.
In my own point, I'm not just talking about Nigeria as a whole, because I believe Nigeria don't want to contribute because they are completely failed. I'm talking about Biafra nations. When you look at this, the same politician who corrupt the traditional rulers are also corrupt by the religious leaders. Then, when you look at the religious sector, you will see how divided and how corrupt they are. These are the major leadership of government, which is government on the traditional or religion. Let me just say something like this. And then when you look at all these people, from head to toe, they are all corrupt. The religious leaders, you may think they will speak like a religious leaders. They also corrupt with money. Until in church, they do politics now. In church, they do all kind of things. So the only ways to go, which I see clear, is revolution. And anybody who was found as a sabo or whatever should either rot in jail or die, because there will be only two ways. The people who believe in revolution and freedom will fight for this fight, and end, they march to freedom. But if we keep on expecting politicians or Igbo, all this stupid shit and all those things, they will continue to bring in illegal argument on the stupid advice that doesn't make any sense. And we end up, suffering again, which is that we don't want.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for the time. Thank you for your comment. Thank you very much. Mazi Solomon,
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Please, let me just say, long life to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, long life IPOB members, long life lovers of freedom, long life Biafra worldwide.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the good work you people are doing. Keep it up. I love you all.
Thank you very much. We love you too. Thank you very much. Yes, so Mazi Solomon, I don't know if there are points you picked from what the caller has said. Everybody have something to say.
Yeah. Actually, we all are saying one thing, but the only thing that we need to include into all the suggestions and the contributions that people made here is this. We want them to look into the challenge that face Igbos as a race.
Now, Mazi, before you proceed, don't be angry if I cut you off. If I
it's all right.
Because there is a video you requested. There is a video you requested. There is a video you requested, and I want to play that clip so that we can see that leadership also goes with vision. You know that leadership also goes with vision. That you can be an Igwe, you can be a traditional ruler, but you don't even see the danger before you. Caller, hold on, please. Let's take this clip.
That nobody is driving the Fulani community out of Abadanewe. And I want to make it clear that in the history of our relationship with the Fulani communities, no cow has ever been killed in this kingdom. No Fulani man has ever been fought in this kingdom. And we have been continued to maintain peace as directed by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, who has always urged all the traditional rulers to maintain the secularity of the nation.
Mazi, I don't want us to, because it's quite a long video, a long clip. Now, the traditional ruler is saying that no Fulani cow have been killed, no Fulani person have been threatened. But he hasn't told us if his own people, if the farms and the crops of his people were destroyed. His focus is on the safety of the Fulanis and not the safety of his own people under his care.
Yeah, I think the point we are getting there, and why I asked you to play that very video, is this: how some people who should be fighting for the cause of their people are helping to put the agenda of other group of people who wanted to conquer your people, helping to push the agenda of the Fulanis instead of the agenda of your people. Now, their cow has not been killed. That justifies your community. Their life has not been threatened. That shows that you accommodated them. But your people, they have killed your people despite that your people has not killed their cow. They have killed your people despite that your people has not endangered their life. But now what the Igbo is portraying here is that nobody is trying to shield the terrorists, to present to the world that they are peaceful. Why they are not? They are the same group of people who has killed your own people, but you are shielding them. Where are you coming from? Are you a Fulani man? Are you a Fulani herdsman? And this is a person who's supposed to be your Igwe, covering the terrorists, protecting the terrorists, whereby exposing the life of his community into danger. That the world, the global index terrorism has graded Fulanis as terrorists, as number 4 most dangerous terrorist organization. And yet people are complaining here that our farm has been destroyed, Fulani has raped, Fulani has killed, and an Igwe in your community who's supposed to be voicing out the crime that Fulani is committing in the community, instead he's shielding the Fulani herdsmen. Now the question you should ask here before this Igwe, is this an Igbo man in the face, born of man or woman of an Igbo man, but the inside is now a Fulani herdsman? Is this the kind of leader you want at this time, where people are Igbo look? They are Igbo in their mother, in their parents, but inside of them is a different alien that wanted to conquer you, is a Fulani man. So we are bringing this thing to the real light of the people so that they can be able to know the who's to be their leader at this point, when they are facing with terrorism, when they are facing with rape, when they are facing with all the challenges that the Fulanis are bringing, or even the destroying of the farm. At this time, when all these things is happening, what choice of leader do you need to make?
That's we have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Mazi Agadeku.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mazi Solomon Peter, good morning. You know, I said it before and I pleaded again to make this program last, because it's very, very important programs. Because the point we are now is that we need to fish out all those people that are buying the idea of warrant chiefs, because it's important. Our land was devastated, that the colonial master planted what they call warrant chiefs. Warrant chiefs, they chase out all the real Ezani. They chase them out and they kill a lot of them. But they are still there as I'm talking to you. And there is some group of people from IPOB that is moving and pushing to put it in place. It's important. And again, I want to tell our people, our brothers and our people here, that we are all Igbo. We are all Igbo because all the temples in our land goes round. Like that one you are talking about at Darojuku. The person that resided at Darojuku is a man called Dege. Dege, the first son of Igbo. He is the person that resided at Darojuku, and he is the one that is there. So we are all Igbo, all of us. You understand me? So this program, I would like IPOB, Kim Patrick, I would like IPOB to ask about those people that is working. We have gone around, all those things is under Umunna. As soon as we visited all those Umunnas,
I don't know if the caller is gone.
Yeah.
This caller is gone, unfortunately.
It's becoming interesting.
I think we should be rounding up.
It's becoming interesting.
We should be rounding up this program. Mazi Solomon, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mazi, I think there was a little network hitch.
Okay,
but I think
can you hear me now?
I can hear you better, very clear. I think we should be rounding up so that we'll be able to come back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. But there is a point that this very caller made, and every point is actually valid. But the only things that I am bringing up is that the need of the hour, the moment we are living, and the challenge that is facing us. Now, when he talks about the warrant shift and actually how the Europeans have used the warrant shifts to kill some of our real leaders in Igbo land, all those histories are there. These are not the wound that we want to open at this time. What the actual things we are discussing at this time is this: in this present time, that we have seen so many failures of Igbo's leaders, and we have seen the challenge that are facing us today, of which if these leaders has not failed in the past, they should have been the one at this very moment leading us. Now he come to the point of when he said that we are all Igbos. That is just the history. That is just the pure truth. But it's not what is playing today. Is not what is playing today. So you have to go with the trend. You have to go with the trend. You have to reposition yourself for today's politics. For today's politics. So that we might, with today's politics, we might be able to fight to the end to restore Biafra. So that we can be able to revisit those ancient histories that has been forgotten in our land. The trend for today is that a German is not there to accept to you that he is a core Igbo. That is the politics of today. They have
but I think we have to come to that maybe possibly by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
Now,
Okay, thank you.
There is a video I want to show, and I want you to comment on it. This is a video that has been going around on Facebook, on Vanguard newspaper, that the military have destroyed ESN camp and all that, which we know is a fake news. We have to make it open. Yeah, there were some bombardment. There were some. In fact, some of the bombs that were thrown in our forest refused to explode. A lot of bombs were thrown in the forest, but in fact, the bombs were not exploded. And the second clip is the news making round that ESN shot down a helicopter of the Nigerian military. It is a fake news, and people must stop sharing this news that ESN shot down a helicopter of Nigerian army. It is not true. And if there is anything of sort, ESN should come out on their own to take responsibility, and not people carrying fake news all over the place. Mazi Solomon, let's give us a last word, and let's round it up.
Thank you so much. By tomorrow, we are going to continue from where we stopped today, but we want to assure you, by the time you finish listening to us very well, you will understand that when you come to say that we are all Igbo, you must understand what is playing out at the present, and how they have succeeded to plant that very evil seed in some people's mind, that we make it impossible for you to control things as it was in the history for now. So we need to play, we need to play alongside with whatever games that has already been playing out. So we need to play alongside with it and devise the best way we can bring our people together and achieve our Biafra. So it's not gonna base on the history that you know that they destroyed, they destroyed. So it's going to base on the fact, on a mutual understanding among us. It's going to be based on when you feel like adult and adult are talking. It's not based on when you think that you are talking to one small boy or one child that is just growing. It's going to solidly based that you understand that you are talking to an adult are talking. So our people should know this, and that is the way we go. So we will always follow them with whatever things we bring, like as ESN are. We are not taking war to them. We are not calling them for war. But when they bring war to us, we will not fold our hands. So that is just the way we are doing this program, for you to understand that we are the peaceful people. We are peaceful people. But then the people that we are trying to give peace, they are refusing to accept our position of peace. So they prefer violence, they prefer killing, they prefer throwing bomb, and they prefer doing their own thing in their own way. So therefore, whatever they bring to us, ESN are promising us that they are equal to the tax. You have heard it from Mazepat. Some bomb were thrown, and the bomb refuses to explode, just like you see in the army they make, they bring the pigeon refuse to fly. So some of their bombs were not exploding, because if God be with you, nobody can be against you. So they are fighting a battle that they are sure that they are going to lose at the end of the day, but they just decided to try. So our people should remember my advice. Please try to stay safe. If you hear any bomb, don't try to come out to look around, make video or anything. Just make sure you are safe and you understood your environment very well. If you can lay hands in any bulletproof helmet, please do so. When you are in a public place, make sure you are protected. Make sure you are defended. Self-defense still be the action of the individuals that are facing the danger. So please, our people will come your way again tomorrow. My name remains Solomon Peter. Before then, remain blessed. Bye.
Thank you very much, Solomon Peter. You're a wonderful person. We thank you for always being here. Thank you for coming. Fellow fans, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your patience. We spent over 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's 15 minutes past the hour, 1 a.m. here in Veneto, Italy. And it is my pleasure to have hosted you, and I'm happy that you had the patience, you waited, and stayed till the end. For those of you who commented, I want to say thank you for your compliments. I want to say thank you, Alina Katan, for your compliment. Prince Emma John Richards, Moye Weke Chigozie, Luca Bello, Chukwu Nonyerem Cyprian, Ekesineke. Thank you very much, Chukuma Onyia Uchennaji. Oh, thank you very much, wonderful guys. I cannot call all your names. If I don't call your name, don't feel offended, please. I cannot call all your names. Ekesin, yes. Biafra Middle Belt Dudu. Thank you very much for all your comments. Wonderful comment. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, hopefully by the special grace of Chukwu Okike, that will all converge here again to continue on this same topic of leadership, because what we see today in the eastern region and the Biafra land and what we are facing is as a result of lack of leadership, total leadership breakdown and failure. And we have somebody who came from nowhere to proffer this leadership with great vision, with great understanding of the kind of problem we are facing, and is confronting it. I'm not here to run promotion or campaign for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu or whatsoever. But when you see a good quality, we should be able to commend it. When you see quality, you should be able to commend it. We know that there are a lot of people who do not like his style of leadership, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, but it's not important. What is important is the result you get from such leadership. And we'll continue to point in this direction so that the new generation will be able to put themselves together and support the cause. Because at the end of the day, we need a leader and we need leadership. On this note, I want to say thank you for being part of this program once again, and I'll be calling it off. And until I come your way again, my name remains Mazi Ikem Patrick DK, and I'm happy to be your host of Biafra Television. Have a wonderful evening, night, morning, and afternoon, wherever you might be. I will be seeing you very soon. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Imana nwata chọba nke ya abọbụ ya ajọ mmadụ mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ Chukwu okike bụ ị na-asụ Chukwu okike so ga-eje na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme ebe ba na-ebutere gị oke adị enwe ilo ụmụ Igbo ka anyị chọọ n'oge anyị ọ sị na ya marọ emesịa aka na ị ga-amarịli emesịa aka na ị ga-aghọta ndị ọcha achasị bute ọcha ha achasị bute nke ji ụlọ na Igbo erike ndị ji n'ịmaka ibi ego wele kwụsị ụmụnne ba unu godu ma na agwa ụmụ Igbo ka anyị chọọ n'ụka anyị